So the truth about Roman Reigns' relationship with Seth Rollins has finally been revealed. In January 2022, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns began a feud, and they said a lot of hurtful things to one another, and they both tried to hurt each other physically. And it really seemed like their friendship was over. It was done for. And that the two now severely disliked each other, and that the friendship was over. But if you pull back the curtain, we now know that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are actually still very close friends. And the things that we saw on TV in their most recent feud were not real. They were just part of a script that they were following. They don't dislike each other. Instead, they were just having fun doing a pro wrestling angle, because recently the two were spotted backstage sharing an emotional moment. And when they're on a show where they're both backstage, they usually sit together, they talk about their families, now that they both are married, they both have kids, and it seems like they're actually better friends today than ever before. The truth has been revealed about Steve Austin. It is now scheduled that Steve Austin will appear on the Kevin Owens show at WrestleMania 38. And in the lead up to this, Kevin Owens has severely mocked Steve Austin, made fun of him, said that his home state of Texas is a joke and he doesn't like it, and everybody in the state are losers. Kevin Owens even dressed up like Steve Austin and made fun of him. And Steve Austin has said on the Kevin Owens show, WrestleMania, I'm going to confront you and I'm going to let you know how much I don't like you. But in recent days, it's now been revealed that Steve Austin and Kevin Owens behind the scenes are actually good friends. And they actually talk almost every day. And the reason why they're doing this whole feud for WrestleMania is because they wanted to work together because they're good friends. And there are now pictures going around showing Kevin Owens and Steve Austin back before Kevin Owens joined WWE. So it shows that Kevin Owens was a fan of Steve Austin growing up. And then there's brand new pictures of Steve Austin and Kevin Owens together. And supposedly these pictures were taken during a meeting in recent days to discuss what's going to happen in their WrestleMania segment. So Steve Austin and Kevin Owens might be enemies on TV, but in real life, they're actually friends. One of Ronda Rousey's biggest secrets in WWE is a secret no more. As Ronda Rousey returned to WWE in 2022, one of her first feuds was with WWE General Manager Sonya Deville. And it seemed like Sonya and Ronda Rousey really did not like each other, which is very surprising because there is behind-the-scenes images of Ronda Rousey and Sonya Deville during this feud acting very friendly towards each other, even sharing an emotional hug. So why would these two bitter rivals act so friendly behind the scenes? It's because they know that pro wrestling, for the most part, is scripted. And what they're doing on TV doesn't always mean that the same thing has to happen behind the scenes. In this case, these are two friends who were able to act out this fictional feud on TV, and then, when they got backstage, they were able to resume their friendship. It now turns out that Vince McMahon has not been telling the whole truth. Recently, Vince McMahon appeared on the Pat McAfee podcast and revealed that Pat McAfee is actually going to wrestle in a match at WrestleMania 38. And his opponent was later revealed to be Vince McMahon's protege, Austin Theory. Pat McAfee was the victim of an unprovoked attack by Austin Theory on him, and then also Vince McMahon actually blamed Pat McAfee for this unprovoked attack and made Pat McAfee apologize to Austin Theory. And a lot of people thought, wow, Vince McMahon must really dislike Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee didn't do anything wrong. And people think Vince McMahon does not like Pat McAfee. Well, if you look at the truth behind the scenes, Pat McAfee and Vince McMahon are actually close friends. And this was one of the reasons why Pat McAfee got a match at WrestleMania, because Vince McMahon really likes him, and he really likes the over-the-top personality of Pat McAfee. And Vince McMahon has actually said that Pat McAfee is their top commentator in WWE because he just comes up with great lines on the spot. And Vince McMahon loves this. And Pat McAfee and Vince McMahon are actually friends behind the scenes, even though on TV, it seems like Vince McMahon doesn't like him. Becky Lynch recently revealed her secret relationship with a fellow WWE wrestler. Becky Lynch was out of action for over a year, but she made her triumphant return at the 2021 SummerSlam pay-per-view and went against champion Bianca Belair and beat her in a matter of seconds. And ever since then, the two have had a knockdown drag-out feud that included both Bianca and Becky trading hurtful jabs at one another and saying how much they disliked each other. And in recent weeks, they even brutally injured each other. First, Bianca Belair at a WWE house show severely injured Becky Lynch's vocal box that resulted in hospitalization. Once Becky recovered, she returned to Raw and then laid out a brutal beatdown on Bianca Belair and wrapped a chair around Bianca's neck and then slammed her into the ring post, which ended up severely injuring Bianca's throat. This has been a truly brutal feud that has resulted in a lot of hurt feelings and a lot of severe injuries, which is why a lot of fans were surprised when a recent picture was leaked of the two arm-in-arm backstage where they seemed to like each other, as the two were smiling and seemed to be very happy to be posing for a picture together, and it looked like they were actually friends. So what gives? Why is it that on TV they say they don't like each other? They say how they're gonna beat each other down, how they're going to destroy each other's careers. Why is it that all of a sudden in the last few days they pose for a picture together and they're happy and they're not tearing each other limb from limb? They pose for a picture together? What is happening here? According to reports, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair are actually close friends behind the scenes. And what you see on TV is simply them following a script. WWE writers wrote down on a piece of paper, say this bad thing about your opponent, try to injure them, say you injured them, and we now know that these two enemies are actually good friends in real life. What are your thoughts about bitter rivals, Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, actually being friends in real life? Leave a comment below and give me your opinion. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell notification so you are notified when we upload a new video.